Hi, my name is Geert Van Gele and I would like to talk about tonal contemporary repertoire for the recorder. This video is part of a series that accompanied the iBook Thoughts on the Recorder, which is available through my webshop kettenbergrecordings.be. You can find a link in the description. I've also included a clickable link at the end of this video if you want to learn more about it. At any given point during one's recorder education, one can put a contemporary tonal composition on the music stand. A vast amount of literature has been created from the 1940s onwards, the time that the first contemporary repertoire for recorder emerged. Because of the fact that most of these compositions have been built around classical forms, when analyzing, one will encounter the classical sonata structures with a theme, second theme, development, re-exposition. Even though simple in form, the complexity of the pieces should not be underestimated. I often found analyzing these pieces quite challenging when trying to do this to great detail. Nevertheless, if one can achieve a deeper level of understanding, so much the better. In this repertoire, special attention needs to be given to the melody. Instead of working with small contrasts, a lot of articulations and dynamics like in a generic Baroque interpretation, in order to evoke speech, this literature will work better if we give some weight towards the voice, the melody. We want to evoke a line that has some carrying capability, a line that sounds full and commanding. In this sense, I like to make the comparison with an aircraft in the sky, which is not flying in a straight line but is doing all kinds of maneuvers, climbing more or less, suddenly changing its course, straight down, up again, but this time more steep. One can imagine the forces of the air working on the machine, the slowness with which the plane responds because of the sheer weight of the plane. This kind of inertia of the plane is a powerful idea to incorporate into your interpretation. Another nice image of your melody can be the flying of a kite, where you are steering the kite in all different ways, while feeling the power of the wind pulling on the strings. These images may help to get into a more romantic approach of sound production. Don't hesitate also to use a more constant vibrato when playing. It helps to make your sound bigger and it makes it easier to keep singing your line. This use of vibrato is different than the kind of vibrato we use when interpreting the Baroque repertoire. In Baroque times, and feel free to extrapolate this to Renaissance and medieval music as well, vibrato is used as a kind of ornament. In other words, it's not automatically there as a given. One applies it to a note. A constant vibrato detracts from the clarity of the spoken words. This is the case for instruments as well as voices, and many sources point in this direction. Keep into account that understanding the piano part is crucial for your understanding of the whole composition. So not only the bass line in this music, the whole harmonization, the complete arrangement determines the piece. An accompanist is pretty much a necessity for this repertoire. some pointers for coming to a deeper interpretation. Search for places where piano and recorder parts have parallel motives or even parallel rhythms. Determine which chords create a special color, a specific atmosphere. Can you push and pull a bit with the tempo, rubato, in certain places, and see the description of the airplane and the kite above? When you encounter staccato markings in the score, these should not be treated like in Baroque, where you tend to make them very short, but rather more detached, staccato notes with a bit more meat on them, so to speak. As a recorder player, we are kind of trained to ignore legato markings from publishers, since most of them are not original Baroque markings. In the context of neoclassical music, these slurs are clearly intentional from the composers, so we should try to execute them. I deliberately talk about the word try, because most of these composers are not recorder players themselves, and at times these legato markings don't sound good at all on our instrument. It is up to the performer to insinuate these legato slurs by adding some unintrusive tonguings. The big difference with interpreting Baroque music is that in Baroque music one will concentrate towards small elements of the piece by creating stark rhetoric contrasts based on spoken text. In fast Baroque movements, one will play with sharper articulations, outspokenly dancing with vigor and pulse. Neoclassical music show bigger lines, and these lines are carried through more. The piano part steers and supports simultaneously. That's it for now. If you follow the link, you can watch the next video on the interpretation of French Baroque music. Thanks for watching. See you next time.